In a few weeks, on the 1st of May 2026, the rental market in the UK changes forever. Section 21 is gone, fixed term tenancies are gone, and the way that you run your buy-to-lets potentially could be illegal. And if you get it wrong, civil penalties up to £7,000 per breach. I'm Simon, I've been investing in property for 10 years and the landscape has changed dramatically in recent times for both tax and then now renting legislation. However, not everything is bad, and I'm here to help cover all of the vital stats and information before May the 1st and how you can continue to be a great landlord and make money from investing in property. The Renters' Right Act is the biggest shake-up in the rental market for decades. Something that Labour have been peddling for a long time and it has finally come to fruition. When May the 1st arrives, every AST, every assured short hold tenancy agreement, it turns into what's called an assured periodic tenancy. You don't have to do anything to make that happen. That is just what it does. It just transfers over. Fixed termed agreements are dead overnight. There are no 2-year fixed agreement, 6-month fixed agreement, 1-year fixed agreement. They are gone. So therefore, every tenancy agreement becomes a rolling contract. But here's what it means in practice. Section 21, which is a no-fault eviction, so basically the landlord could ask for their property back and have to give no reason for them to get that property back. The Section 21 is completely gone. Rent increases are now restricted to Section 13 processes only. So that is 1 increase per year, 2 months notice, and you have to fill out a form 4A. Tenants can give 2 months notice to leave at any time. The only way you can remove a tenant is through Section 8, and there has to be a legal reason for you to do so, such as rent arrears or antisocial behaviour. And there are 3 new things that become illegal overnight. You can now not advertise a property without advertising the rent. You cannot have a bidding war, a rental bidding war between 2 tenants. And you cannot refuse to rent a property because someone is claiming benefits or has children. The first offence, if you breach any of the above, is £7,000. If you continue to breach these and you are a repeat offender, you can be fined £40,000. So it is important to get the processes right from day one. So May the 1st comes and it automatically reverts over, and there are 2 things that you have to do day one. These are vital. You can get fined for not doing them. You have to give the tenant the official government information sheet. This explains all the new rules to your tenants so they understand them like you do. The second one is if you don't have a written contract and you only have a verbal agreement with your tenant, you have to produce something written. It doesn't have to be an official written contract, but you need something in writing to give to the tenant. 1 page, super simple, but if you miss it, you will get fined. So before I get to the stop doing list, let me cut through the noise because there is a lot of misinformation, a lot of fear mongering, and a lot of worry about what you do have to do. You don't have to resubmit everything or reissue everything to the tenant. So you don't have to reissue the EPC, you don't have to reissue the EICR, you don't have to reissue the gas certification. You should have all of those. You should have those in one file and they should be part of that tenancy already. If you have all of that in place, you do not need to worry. You do not need to resend that to the tenant. There is some noise that you do and you have to start from scratch and reissue everything and do everything, the right to rent checks, and you have to do all that bit. You don't. Deposits carry over automatically as well, so if they are in the correct deposit scheme, they will be fine also. So the transition itself is relatively clean, simple and easy. So there are 5 things that you must stop doing though from the 1st of May that you cannot do any longer. Number 1, you cannot serve a Section 21 notice. You cannot have a no-fault eviction. You cannot evict that tenant without a legal reason. So if you want to claim that property back and you don't want to rent that property anymore, I suggest you serve that notice now. 2, you can't put tenants on fixed term contracts. You cannot give them a 1-year fixed term contract that guarantees rent for you and guarantees them a home to a degree in their way. If there are any fixed term clauses in your contracts, that needs to come out and you potentially need to reissue them. Part 3 is you can't raise rent outside of the Section 13. So you can't do it without 2 months notice and you can't do it without filling this form 4A. Number 4 is you can't discriminate against people claiming benefits. So if anyone applies, they're claiming benefits, you cannot say no to them. You cannot discriminate against them. Number 5 is you cannot have bidding wars. So you cannot say my property is for rent for £1,000 and someone says I'll take it for £1,100 and you go back to the other person and they say I'll take it for £1,200. You can't have that. No bidding wars are allowed. But here's the good part of it all. And I suppose I don't want to do negative YouTube videos. I'm not, it's just spreading some information. A lot that hopefully is helpful to anybody that is watching this. Section 5 is what smart landlords are doing now. And smart landlords are being good landlords. There are a few bits in this that I don't love or like, but as a whole, us and myself being good landlords, people inside of Size Property Academy are good landlords, so a lot of this doesn't really affect them. You have to make sure your admin is tight, but that was the case before this, and you have to make sure you have good agreements in place and all your paperwork is in place. The law doesn't scare good landlords. Good landlords are already way above the law and way above a lot of the legislation. Section 21 doesn't change much for you. Fundamentally, a lot of the time you have good tenants that pay rent on time and you'd never want to evict them anyway. If you look after your product, your house, and you look after your customer, your tenant, then it's very unlikely you're ever going to need to use a Section 21. I've never needed to use a Section 21. Ever. A lot of landlords that need to use Section 21 are often ones that aren't good enough to retain good tenants that look after their properties, and they end up kicking them out to get them back, to get it to a good state and starting again. If you have good tenants, you look after your property regularly and you keep in good contact to make sure your tenants are happy with the product you're giving, it's very unlikely you ever need to evict them. A lot of tenants don't want to leave. There isn't a great amount of rental stock on the market anyway, so they don't want to keep moving about for the sake of it. A lot of them have made them their homes and want to keep it that way. The good landlords already have all the compliance locked in. They have all the paperwork in a good place. They don't necessarily need a 1-year contract to make themselves feel safe. They don't need to worry about the Section 21, as I've just mentioned. And on the rent increase part, you can increase that rent once a year, as long as it is in line with market rent. As long as you're a good landlord and you are managing that and communicating that to the tenant, it's very unlikely that they are going to fight against it. Again, there's not lots of other stock on the market. They've made it their home. As long as you are a good landlord and you articulate to them why you are increasing the rent, when you are increasing it, it is very unlikely that they are ever going to fight back against it. As we said, a good product, a good home in good areas gets good tenants that pay good rent and are happy to make it their home. It is a fair exchange of value. It is a good quality product, the house, and it is a good tenant that is in there, a good customer. Treat them like customers, look after them, and they will look after you and your home. A lot of being a good landlord comes from buying well, buying in good areas where you're gonna get good tenants. Tenants that want the schools, they want the commuter routes, they want where they are working, the blue collar and the white collar work, they want it to be near the cities, they want to raise a family there, or they've separated from their ex-partners and they just need a good home to live in for a while with their children for a period of time. There are a million reasons why people want to rent. Renting is not always bad. Renters aren't always bad. You always see the bad news. The bad news is what people click on, it's what comes up first. A lot of tenants are great tenants. They're happy renting, and there are a lot of landlords that are good landlords. As long as you are a good landlord, as long as you are a good property investor that buys in good areas, you should not have an issue. They are the odd anomaly or outlier where things don't always go right, but that is not the end of the world. Don't let that put you off from investing in 20 properties because you've heard one bad news story or you've had one bad tenant yourself. It is not the end of renting. It is not the end of the world. Yes, there is more red tape than ever. There is more legislation than ever, but it is to stop the bad landlords. It is not to stop the good ones. So if you've made it this far into the video, you are clearly a landlord that is interested in creating a good product. You are clearly someone that wants to invest for the benefits of investing in property, but also creating good homes for good people. If you want to learn more on how to do it, click on the link below the video and I will see you in the next one.